to release this tomorrow just to like promote it. So I'm going to be talking like it's today, like the day
Okay.
of. So it's like it's tomorrow. So that's why if you're
So
like,
no spoilers. We can't do
no
spoilers.
spoilers, but we'll do what we can to try to hype it up a little bit, and it'll be fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. All right, we got a big day in the mortuary store, mortuary everything community. If you've been living under a rock and you're following us, you wouldn't know that we're going on national television tonight. But thankfully we are. And today we have on a special guest. He was one of the main influencers, came up with all the designs and did a lot of the work on the car that we created from Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge. His name is Bob Partington. He's an inventor, an artist, a director, you name it, this guy does it. And everything from the show from this guy and the rest of the carpool team. And this is Bob. We just wanted to talk a little bit about the show, a little behind the scenes, and how I was so lucky to be on it. So Bob, how you doing?
Pretty good, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Of course. So what was the first thing you thought about when you heard that a funeral director was coming on your episode and that you had to design a car from a funeral director? What was the first thing that came into your mind?
Um, yeah, that's weird.
It was
I don't
weird.
know. That's funeral director. He's probably some really boring, sad guy.
Yeah.
Not the case, however.
Not quite.
But yeah, I mean, everything was a surprise, right? So going
Right.
up into this. So finding out that you were on was like maybe the day before or something
Oh,
like that.
I didn't
A
realize it
couple
was
of
that
days.
close. Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, some of the episodes were like morning of. But I
Right.
feel like we found out about you a day or so before. But yeah, I think there was like, a rumor that you had a bit of a social media thing going
Uh-huh.
on. And so you were more than your average funeral director. So
I wasn't
yeah,
coming
we
in
were
in a cloak
stoked.
or anything
That's
like
like,
that.
what's that?
I wasn't coming in a cloak.
No, yeah, maybe that would have been cool. You should have come with a kit
Damn it, missed opportunity there.
and a sickle.
Yeah, yeah. Shh, no spoilers, spoilers. No, I think they've done a job of they tease all the cars so you can see like a little bit, but you
Yeah.
can't really get the full thing. But for anyone that listens to this podcast and doesn't really follow us elsewhere, I was very blessed and had the opportunity to go on NBC's newest show, Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge. And what it is they take a nostalgia car, usually a car from your youth, and they recreate it and then transform it into a life-size Hot Wheel. So for whatever reason, they wanted a mortician like me to come on, and I was able to work with Bob and a whole other group of team that was able to recreate this car and make a Hot Wheels design. And I could say what the name is. It's the Reaper, but we can't have any leaks. You're gonna have to watch tonight to figure it out. So you got to see, you got to watch. Like these guys are unbelievable, incredible what they do, and Bob was like one of the leaders, the mastermind behind it. So tell us, Bob, how did you get involved with the show, and what was it all like for you, your experience there?
Um, yeah, that was a crazy trip. We shot like this whole season and probably what's not a short amount of time for reality TV
Right.
because we actually built things.
Yeah.
But I come from a background of like engineering, fine arts, and I got into directing commercials because I like to build big crazy things that sometimes have to do with cars. I actually have rockets from a Mustang commercial
Oh,
that I did 5 commercials for the new electric Mustang. Not so new anymore.
sweet.
But so my art and documenting art, and I did a lot of performance, sculpture, and engineering based stuff, kinetic things, and that somehow led into making commercials where there's often a big build. So
Right.
I have some people I know, like in the casting world and production world, and somehow, the stars aligned and they
Yeah.
hooked me up with the people who are putting this show together. So I got in as more of a like artist inventor type,
Right.
less of a car guy.
Yeah.
But the teams kind of work because we had like our team.
Oh yeah.
We had like crazy Charlie the body guy
Yeah.
doing his drift Jaguars, and then Chris who's like building rocket cars and stuff
Right.
like that. I think together it was a pretty awesome team.
Yeah, the amount of talent was just unbelievable. I enjoyed sitting in the corner and just watching you guys go to town and work. It was honestly incredible what you did, and like I said, thank you so much. You were talking about you've been through some commercials, you've done a lot of different things. I remember on the set you were telling me one specific build you did, and it was something ginormous. Do you know what I'm referring to? Maybe one
treadmill?
Yes. Will you tell us about the treadmill? I think it'll interest people.
That's funny. Yeah, I built the world's biggest treadmill, like Guinness world's biggest, which it was for Gatorade. So it was like a soccer field, a volleyball court, and a basketball court, all on this giant treadmill.
Crazy.
And sports happening, and if you didn't drink Gatorade, you'd go flying off. The funny thing was, the actual treadmill for this spot was only 50 feet long by 20 feet wide, which was massive. Like,
right.
We had to get like conveyor belt companies to help us, and we had all this custom stuff. But the actual ad that aired with CG, they made it 120 feet long.
Jeez.
So they didn't want to go down the route of with Guinness, because then they would have had to reveal that it was only 50 feet long.
Right.
But it was massive. We had shipbuilders helping out, like rolling the giant drums. It was a trip. I think the actual mat weighed 6,000 pounds.
Oh
just
my goodness.
The floor that was rotating, but
that's
that was
incredible.
nuts.
Where was it at? Was it in the middle of a warehouse or a field? Like what was the whole situation?
We did it in an airplane hangar in Slovenia.
Oh.
Places. Slovenia has commercials tend to shoot in a lot of different places now because people are like, we're cheap, we'll do anything.
Yeah.
And they can bend the rules a lot easier in certain countries, and in certain places we would have needed everyone to be a stunt actor.
Yeah.
But we just all took a one-day course, and we were all stuntmen after that for Slovenia. And the way they just built it was crazy. Here there's a lot more formula, like things have to fit within certain guidelines in film and TV.
Right.
But certain other places, you can just go nuts, blow things up, whatever.
Yeah, it's funny that you just have all these different experiences doing what you're doing. Did you have any connection with Hot Wheels before? Personally, I did not have much, full transparency. It was just kind of I played with them.
Neighbors talk about.
Yeah. So did you have anything like that or no?
I didn't even love Hot Wheels. I did, but I would use them for other things. When I went out for casting with Hot Wheels, I was I didn't really use them with the track properly and things. I would strap wings onto them and cut them up and make little plane cars and things that could do whatever. I also used them as bearings. You turn them upside down, they're really nice to roll things on.
Yeah.
Rube Goldberg. A lot of Rube Goldbergs.
You were preparing for this role your whole life then, I guess, if you're using
Pretty much.
That's awesome.
I've done a little TV leading up to this, where I had a show where I was an inventor guy, 8 years ago, a lifetime ago.
Yeah, you're so fluid on the camera, you're just your authentic, normal self. And I think that's a challenge for so many people because they're not used to, and you do your stuff on social media, you do as well. So it's unbelievable that you have the amount of talent you do, and then you're able to bring it out on camera, which is incredible. So do you prefer more being behind the scenes, or do you like being a little bit in on the action in front, or is it a little bit of both?
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice getting a bit of this out there.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's part of how what sells you. I think, it's funny with commercials right now. like if I'm pitching on a TV commercial, the agency people will be looking at my Instagram and stuff like that
Right.
to see if I'm like busy on it,
Yeah.
you know, to see how relevant I am, which is crazy
Ah,
because it shouldn't be about that. But
that's the way
I've
it
always
goes.
liked like getting like what I do is always there's a heavy like build aspect.
Mhm.
And then with commercials and stuff, we would always do behind the scenes,
Yeah.
like films that would often be like more popular than the commercials. So that's what started it all. Just
No
like
kidding.
being able to do fun stuff and then being like, look what I made.
Right. And
Yeah.
wait till everyone sees what they built with my old
Yeah.
removal van. It's ridiculous. What did you think about then when you saw the van for the first time? What was your thought? You're like, what is this car? Probably because most people are like, what is a
Yeah.
removal van? Everyone on the show is calling it like a funeral home van, but in the industry we call it a removal van because it removes. So what did you think about what did you think about the car?
That was a really, I mean, it was like cause for endless jokes. I don't know how many are going to make it into the edit, but like,
Yeah,
I mean, it was such great material. We had a
it was.
coffin.
Yep.
We have the van and no, it was like it was a trip for sure to first look at it. I mean, it's happening present because we're seeing it tonight.
Right.
But it's so fun to start with that and not like other cars. People have to start with like kind of a classic. And they
Right.
have to cut into it and piss people off who don't want you to be messing with those cars. But like,
Yeah.
I mean, yours is great. It's a funeral. It's a minivan.
Yeah, it's literally what it is.
So like, who doesn't want to do something crazy with it?
Yeah, and it gave
I love.
it gave opportunities to use your mind and your creativity as well as the
Yeah.
other guys, and it was like a big canvas because it was such a big
Yeah.
cumbersome car, and
It is.
we definitely had a unique aspect, and I'm really curious too. I have no idea what they're gonna air, what clips they're gonna bring out tonight. I don't know what jokes, because all of us, we were cracking all the funeral jokes the whole time, so I'm praying that they get some of those good ones in there.
Yeah, and they like we. There's so many like see that it's such a big budget show. Like there were like
Yeah.
25 cameras kicking around some days.
It was crazy.
And like they were showing so much footage, so many operators and story producers, and just knowing how much was captured, like
Yeah.
they could edit 20 different films out of
Mhm.
like what we shot. So like
Yeah.
it can go any direction. But yeah, it was the vehicle was so cool because it was like yeah, like it's such a big canvas, which
Yeah.
is a double-edged sword for sure.
Right, because it made for a lot of
Yeah.
extra work, and that you guys had to
Yeah.
put in, and yeah.
But that was it's a fun one. Sure, it's the most talked about episode, I think.
Wow. Okay, I
To
mean,
date.
I'm very biased, and I think it is.
It is.
But we had a great time. It was awesome. And if anyone's watched any of the previous episodes, you'll know that Bob built a skull in one of the other ones. So I'm not giving anything away, but I'm a funeral director, so maybe there's some aspect that we're going to try to incorporate here tonight. But did you? So it seemed like that was very secondhand, like natural for you. Did you have any background at all, like in anatomy or something like that? Because it seemed like, or maybe that's just the artist in you and you're able to see everything from that vantage point. How is that for you?
I guess I just have like, don't we all have a bit of a morbid sense of humor?
Yeah.
Gallows humor. But yeah, I do have a science background in like analytic, and we always, isn't that what we do as kids? Just draw skulls all the time.
The good
But
ones.
it's fun. Yeah, it's tough. It's like a really tough thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love, sculpture's a fun thing.
Yeah.
Mechanical things, building, welding. Cars are great because there's so much, because there's like the skin, but there's the mechanics and all that. So
Right.
that's why this show is so fun.
Yes. So when you first started on it, you've been around cameras a lot, so I'm not sure if you were too nervous, but I remember my first day when I walked in there, I was like, oh my good, this is because I've never been on a TV set, never anything, and I was like, this
And you
is
do this all the time anyway, so
right.
you're no stranger.
Right. So I know how to be in front of a camera, but this is like a different level with all the cameras and the lights and like. Wait till everyone sees it. It is just incredible what they can do. So, was that a little bit different for you because you haven't been in front of the camera in a while, or were you pretty much a natural right off the bat? You're like, this is like a typical day for me.
It was nice because I know the jobs and like the production end of things. So I was like familiar, but never like for a commercial. You're lucky to have 2 cameras.
Oh, okay.
You've got like a few days of shooting. And it's all very scripted, and it's not like this. This is like, we had people, well, we didn't shoot it in the US. We had people in like other places.
Right.
I think we can say now, right?
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
No, the first day, the first thing I did, I came out, it was like a half day or something. We had to do this like entry thing.
Yeah.
Smoke. Yeah,
I had to do it. Yeah.
We had to like dance a little bit and like look all tough. And I was nervous as shit, like trying to not like my mouth shake and stuff like that. Yeah, it was like pretty intense. And I didn't know anyone because I came like 3 weeks or something later than everyone else.
Oh, you did? I didn't realize that. Yeah.
It's pretty frightening. I don't think there is much in television that's that big. It's just those big network shows.
Right, and they definitely.
When there's celebrities, they have to have extra cameras because they can't do alternate takes. They've got to get everything from all different angles at once. So it's just bigger, a whole order of magnitude.
It really was, and I do remember that scene, and you'll see it tonight where they'll have me walking in with smoke, and you have to do so many takes, and I didn't realize it took so much. It really made me appreciate the whole process behind TV and commercials and movies, because the amount of takes that you have to do for just these little shots was unheard of to me. I was like, wow, I do my videos in like 1 or 2 takes max. I'm like, that's probably fine. But it's a different level, and it definitely makes you appreciate the amount of hustle and effort that goes into everything that they do on these big shows and commercials and movies. And it was nerve-wracking for sure at the beginning, but once you get settled, I think you get accustomed, just like you would with anything, that it's just cameras, and you just got to be your normal personality and just enhance, make it a little like to the next level, I think is about all you can really do. And that was my experience, at least.
Yeah, and everything starts to disappear after a while, and you think about the build and like you're going to win, and you're in it to win it.
Right.
Making something that's super cool, regardless of how it comes out, how it shapes out, who wins, whatever.
Yeah, and I mean our build, your build. I don't even like saying our, like, because I didn't do squat, but it is unbelievable, and just I can't wait for people to see it, because it's just it's a different thing, and it's completely and utterly unique, and something that's super special, and a memory that I'll definitely never forget for sure. And I
got this shirt.
Yeah, so we're both rocking our shirts, and it says always go full Bob. It's definitely one of our quotes from the series, because Bob has a very intricate, amazing brain that works in ways and sees things that a common person would not see. And so you're going to see that tonight with all the work that he puts into it, and just the little minute details. I really want everyone to appreciate that stuff, and I think we're going to try to do some more videos and get some pictures out there so people can see, like, wow, look at that intense amount of work on a funeral car nonetheless.
So good. I love it. I think it's amazing. It's amazing what we did.
What was your favorite part? What was your favorite part about being on the show?
This episode?
Yeah, sure. This episode, and then overall too.
Oh, I think my favorite part about being on the show, it's it's not really that it's not really that much of a stroke of genius. But like, I think my favorite part of being on the show is maybe more of a laziness, because you get in this production bubble, right? We call it that, the production bubble.
Okay.
Where you've got food, you've got people taking you to and from set, your little room being moved around in other little rooms, and then you shoot something, and you just lose track of like reality. Everything goes away, and you're just in this thing, and you know, it's really nice. It's like kind of an excuse to check out. But then after, a few weeks, you're dumped back into reality, and everything is like screaming in your face again. But that was really nice. I think what was great about this show, seriously, was that it was amazing to say, like, all the cameras and crew and everything, but like we had like so many amazing people. Like everyone was like an influencer. Like we had this whole crew of builders that were helping us. So like in the evenings, we would have, if we started something, someone could help us finish a job. And this whole other crew of builders behind the scenes, and all these like expert painters who would help with like the finishing of the cars. So like there are so many experts, like so many people who have these like crazy lives outside of the show who came together. And it was really like, it was pretty insane, like how we had all the studios, or the 2 studios, and then an alleyway behind it, and then these workshops where they were like doing the big metal bending and all the big things. They could roll in tools for us in and out, but like, and that happened live, and like really it was a 5-day build because 2 days were for paint. So that was really amazing, because no one will do a build show anymore. A lot of like, they're just too expensive, take too much time. So no matter what any hater says, like just to get this show produced is like a massive feat. Like there's nothing been really that big since Mythbusters, and even that was a budget show. As far as build shows go. So that was amazing, because I'm always trying to push build shows on people too. I've pitched a bunch of shows and they're like, nope, too expensive.
I believe it. Wow. Yeah, I'm totally with you. I think some of that stuff, the behind the scenes, and just you felt like you were famous, literally, like when there's people telling you where to go, what to do, and they had your drinks and your food and get your coffee and water. I'm like, I've never had this experience in my life. I'm used to being in the prep room and like meeting with families and going on funerals. Like I don't get to do this stuff. So it was like such a cool experience for me, and the people were amazing, and the amount of work and the feats that went into this, like people, I don't even think give it enough, or if I'm looking at it from someone that wasn't there, they'd be like, oh, that's pretty amazing, like what they did, and like, wow. But when you're actually there, it's like, holy cow, they actually did this in 5 days, and it is now a completely different car, and it's exactly what they set out, if not better, on all these episodes. And it's just, it's an incredible show, and the amount of talent that they put together and the work that went into it is just, it's amazing. It was really next level.
It's pretty mind-blowing. And then it's all on the editor to like take all of this. Well, there was someone writing. Well, there was a team that was just, you witnessed that too. They were writing everything down. So everyone's mic, there was someone on the other end, like transcribing everything. So then they could take it all on paper and arrange it to help the editor out. Like, and they did it so fast, and everything was, I mean, for a new show, relatively seamless. Like there's always going to be kinks and things, but it was pretty darn incredible. And there were long days for everyone. People are there for 15 hours or whatever it was, and they're just all working hard to get it done and get their best. And it was pretty darn cool. And I loved having the experience, and I'm sure everyone else that was there, that it's their first time doing something like this, are probably blown away just like me. And it was awesome. It's cool. And I think the way it's been going, there's going to be a lot about you and your story, which is awesome.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's tough because they put in so much time and effort in this, whatever the whole time for, it was like 5 days, but a couple days before and after for filming, whatever. But there was so much footage and so much content that they came up with in that time period that I don't envy the editors, because it's like they're trying to encompass this person's story and then talk about all the carpoolers and the builders and then make it funny and make it sad and make it, jokes. And there's just so many different things. I'm like, each episode could be like a full 5-episode thing if they really wanted to. So it's just, I mean, the amount of effort that had to go into it was pretty amazing. And I almost wish they did have more, because every episode thus far, I was like, I wish there was like more. I wish I had more of that episode so they can dive a little bit deeper. But it makes it,
need a director's cut. That's
right.
Like 2 hours long. 3 hours.
It makes it more transformative maybe and more exciting by having it just like boom boom, here we go, like we're not messing around. And that was
totally amazing. It goes really quick when you watch them.
It does. It flies by.
So that's cool.
Good.
It'll be fun.
But yeah, Bob, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us, and thank you for everything again. I could thank you a million times for what you did, and everyone watching tonight.
Thank you for doing what you do.
It's nothing. But again, thanks for what you did for me and for my family and for all my friends and everyone else. And it was just such a cool experience, and I can't wait for everyone to see your face, my face. It's going to be wild. So you got to watch tonight, NBC, 10 o'clock Eastern. Check it out, Peacock tomorrow or later tonight, whatever it is. But Bob, thanks for doing everything you do, and we wish you best of luck with more commercials and innovation.
You too.
Yeah.
Thanks. It was a pleasure.